All right. Good evening and welcome to the Norwalk Public Schools Facilities Committee April meeting. Tonight is April 30th and the time is 6:02 p.m. Tonight I am joined by Chairwoman Diana Carpio and Board Member Ashley Goulias, as well as Assistant Superintendent Sandra Fayoes and her team. Welcome, everybody. So our first order of action is to approve the minutes from last month's meeting, March 26th. Were there any amendments on the minutes, or do we have a motion to approve?
I didn't see any changes, so motion to approve.
Great, I didn't see anything either, so those minutes are approved. And moving on to public comments, do we have any public comments this evening?
No, none were submitted.
All right, well then we will move into the part of the meeting where we will discuss our updates. And so I will hand the meeting over to you, Sandra.
Thank you so much. And good
Sure.
evening, everybody. Thank you, team, for joining us. Jim, while Jill is presenting, do you mind giving Alan a call? Is that okay?
He's on now.
He's on. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So one of the pieces that we will always present to you are the general construction updates. And we will have the team do that shortly. There is a new topic that I've asked Jill Kress, who is the person within our district that leads our food services amongst some other duties. I asked her to join us today because there's a change that's coming down the line that I wanted to update the board on. I've updated Dr. Estrella, the superintendent, and it's something that you will hear more about in a board meeting, but it's appropriate to first tell this committee. So Jill Kress, if you could please give us the update on the changes that will be impacting our waste management.
Sure.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Thanks everybody for having me. So it's been brought to our attention that as of July 1st, 2026, the school K through 12 are going to be required to start a composting requirement in our cafeterias. So what that entails is any facility that produces more than 26 tons of organic waste and are located within a 20-mile radius of a composting site are required to begin a composting program in all their schools, or those schools that fall into that category. We are a large district and just about all of our schools fall into that category. We do currently compost in Jefferson and Cranberry School using Blue Earth. And they actually have a training piece included in their composting package, I should say. So basically we need to start looking into all facilities and making sure our school facilities are trained in getting this out and getting this food into the right, I guess, bins, and showing our kids how to do that as of July 1st, 2026. That's going to be a lot.
So would we be continuing to work with, I think you said Blue Sky? Or
It's Blue Earth.
Mhm.
I believe we can. I'm working with Sandra and George Sevick to make sure that we can continue to use them. I don't know
There
if
might be an
that's-
RFP though.
if that's something that
Yeah.
has to go out to bid or not. Yeah, we're gonna look
Yeah.
into that. But we can possibly piggyback off of another district that has done this in the past. So we'll, it's all stuff we're looking into as we speak. So I just went on the deep meeting for a lot of this information. So we're learning as we go right now. So, but it is, already, the wheels are already in motion. So we already are, formulating plans and seeing what the next step would be.
Is the city of Norwalk has some composting, right? I mean, I know folks, there's a way, I know some folks bring their compost to a site at Cranberry Park. Is there any way we can link up with whatever the city is
Yeah.
got going
So
on?
I brought this up. There's actually now the first meeting actually is tomorrow. There's now a green team for the city of Norwalk, and Bill Hodel is a representative on that team. And I brought it up to, I don't know if you guys have met Jody Trendler. She's the director of sustainability and resilience for the city. And so then this is one of the things that we would be bringing up to them, because as a school district, we have this obligation, but the city also is going to have, this is going to be coming down the pike as composting becomes a bigger push from the state. The problem right now, from what I understand with the city composting, is that we don't give back any of that composting for our landscaping or for the recreation and parks. We are sort of outsourcing it, but in the large part, we're dropping it off, but the city is not really quite established yet to be able to actually have the composting be done by the city and then have it be redistributed into the city. So that's part of the work that we'll have to do with the city. If we do go with a third party like Blue Earth, there is an expense associated. So I think that that's why we wanted to bring it to your attention as early as now. We've just learned about this. I will put it also in the board update so that you guys can actually just click on to the law and read more for yourselves. The cost associated is the carting of the food waste. And then
Where do
As well as the
where does
bin.
Blue Earth take it?
I'm sorry, Sandra, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
you're fine.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
Some of that cost is also the bins that are housing the food scraps, because we do have, like I said, there's about, I want to say 5 schools that use a dish machine. So there's less waste at those schools, because they're not composting the entire tray. So whereas our other schools have compostable trays that are going into that bin as well. So we need bins that can house that. So that's what the Blue Earth is basing a lot of the cost on, are the size of the bins that each school would need. As for where they cart it, Blue Earth, I believe, has their own site that they're bringing it to. So I know there is a 20-mile radius in this Connecticut deep law, but I think if we go with a company like Blue Earth, they cart it to their site, or like curbside compost is another place that we were thinking of using, and they bring it to their site. So I don't have any sites where these 20-mile sites, radius sites, we know that scrap is being brought there. I don't have any detail as to how I know where or if those sites themselves might come pick up. I don't know. I can reach out and see. I know the closest one to us, according to the map that they supplied us with, is Ridgefield. And again, like you said, Sandra, they're doing their own sort of composting for their city. So if we could definitely work that into the city, utilizing the compost, so we can, reuse it throughout landscaping in the city, in schools, wherever, that would be a huge
That's
help.
ideal.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes, my concern is, I know that this is a requirement, but once again, the financial part of it all. Because I know that not all schools compost, and that was discussions on financials. Do we have an idea, or will you be looking into how we can save money instead of putting more money on the budget right now? Because yes, it is a requirement, but at the same time, we're having such tough budget year.
Yeah, I mean, we have a rough estimate. We asked Blue Earth to give us a rough estimate, and it's approximately $100,000. That's what the estimate came in at. I think that's when we have to work with the city to see, can we not have to outsource this to a third party, do we have a way of building this type of service or this infrastructure within our own city so you're not having to depend on like a private company to do it for you?
Yeah,
So,
certainly seems like if we can get the city on board
Mhm.
to be doing that, and we have a year, over a
We
year.
have a year. We were just letting you know that you might
Yeah.
hear about this. That
Yeah,
people may come in public comment and talk to you about composting, is that we are aware and it is on our radar. We do have a plan, we will move forward with the plan given the resources and the limitations within the city. But I think that we just wanted you to be the first ones to hear from us that we have been notified of this mandate and that we have a year to plan, and we will keep you abreast of the plan through this committee, because I don't really know I don't really know where else it would be appropriate along the way.
so Sandra, is it, the estimate is 100K a year for all of our sites that would require it?
Correct.
And do we know if there's any grants out there?
Well, that's the next step. No,
Okay.
we haven't even we really just
Okay.
barely
Early
scratched the
days.
surface. Yeah, I found out about it just last week, and it happened
In
to
the
be.
past, there were grants in the past, Kara, when we first started with this. And of course they're done and over. But there's a lot of other options I was looking into. So that may not be our only, I think like Sandra said, if it has to go out to bid, we may get numbers that are less than
Correct.
that
Right.
100,000.
Yes, that's a very rough estimate.
Gotcha.
and the state gave no guidance on how they would recommend paying for it, of course, right?
No, not in what I read, but maybe as more districts become more aware of this and who it impacts, because remember, it has to be, well, most districts will have over 26 tons, but it's that you live within a certain radius also to be able to do that. But I think as more people become more vocal, then maybe there will be more of an advocacy for some assistance.
from the
Yes,
city. That's-
absolutely.
Got it.
Just as a reference, I do know that this is now a mandate in New York City.
Yeah, I was just
So-
thinking that.
So every resident apartment building or private house has now have city provided containers.
Yeah.
So usually what happens in New York City kind of floats up this way, and it may become a city mandate before you know it.
That's why it behooves us to start to think about this as a city.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we really have. We just wanted to inform you that we're looking into this and we've done some preliminary work around it. But that, it'll be part of our ongoing efforts to make sure that both departments, both the facilities and the food service department, meet whatever it is that we need to meet by July 2026.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you,
You're
Jill, so
welcome.
much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Hi, Jill. Thank you.
Jill.
Bye.
And then from here, then I will go back to our agenda, if I may. The next item on our agenda were some construction updates. So I'll turn it to Jim or Alan.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we could see your screen. Thank you,
Okay,
Jim.
you're welcome. So our update for South Norwalk High School P-TECH and the HVAC projects. Our overall schedule for South Norwalk and Norwalk High School, we're actually on schedule right now. At South Norwalk, concrete sidewalks and curbs and light pole bases are being installed. The demolition of the Oxford properties has been completed, and that area is being rough graded. Building B, the east side walls are being finished and painted. The ceiling grid installation is started, and the flooring should have started this week. And building A, the exterior brick continues, and the storefront and curtain wall installation, it's kind of the normal sequence once the Exterior walls are up. We follow up with the windows and the doors. Overhead and in-wall mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Roughing is ongoing, and the walls are being finished and prepped for paint. The Main Street brick wall finish is underway. We are scheduled to complete this summer, and we did get confirmation from Newfield that we will be completing this summer. So with that, we'll go through a few pictures. This is the main entrance, basically the front of the building, starting to take shape. You can see the entrance canopy here. This is the rear of the building, where we go up that steep hill over on the backside here. We have top of a stairwell looking out window out onto the parking lot, and then we have our big communicating stair, main entrance stair, I guess we can refer to it as. Here's a classroom with walls that are painted, and the ceiling, you'll see some lines coming down. Those are the wires to hold the ceiling grid. Here is the gym and stage area. And we are right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. We're right in May of 2025. And we will be, it looks like we will be opening this summer for the new students. Norwalk High School.
Jim, may
Yes.
I interject? Principal Austin texted me a question. He says, yay. He says, is it too soon to ask for a move-in date for South Norwalk?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to defer
back to him?
to Dan.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
I'll let him know. All right, thank you so much.
no
So
problem.
the moving day is actually it's the teacher for the whole school system. I think it's a week before the kids come back. I think Dan is looking to secure a mover so that the
Okay.
teacher could pack before the end of the semester.
Yeah,
It's not that much to
absolutely.
pack because this place we're all furnished, so really just their own belonging kind of thing.
Okay.
So it is the normal opening day in terms of teacher coming back. If they come back a week before, that's the time that they will be occupying the building, and hopefully maybe a couple of days before that. But other than that, that's the date.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Thank you.
Moving
Sorry
on,
for
all
interrupting.
set.
Can I just ask on the Sono School project, do we have any tours scheduled for staff or parents or anybody?
I'm sorry. We actually the principal and I think about maybe 4 or 5 teachers visit the site on I think it's Monday this week.
Monday. Mhm.
This past Monday?
Yeah. We weren't at this point, we're not having parents or the whole full teacher population to go through the site because it's still under construction. But yeah, we purposely did that tour so that we give some teacher leaders opportunity to see that it's a real project. It's not that it's not a real project, but we are doing well, and then again portion of some of these classrooms are painted first coat and second coat kind of thing already. So it's kind of exciting for them to go
Yeah,
through
I
it.
bet it was.
You said only 5 people?
I'm sorry, what's that?
You said only 5 people joined that tour?
Yeah, it was 6. I think it was 6, I believe. We're not having everybody walking through the building because again, it's still under construction kind of thing. So as we get closer, we get, but then it'd be a summertime, right? So, but yeah, so we will provide tours and as we need to coordinate it. But again, because of all the construction activity going on, so we have the principal and I think 5 teacher leaders kind of thing walk through the building. South North School, I
Their
guess.
safety committee is who ended up going.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, because I had heard that you were gonna have staff tours, so that's why I was like, but that sounds like very little people. So staff tour will be done later on.
Yeah, I think before the end of the semester. Again, we need to finish a certain point before we bring more people. Again, I think some parents may be interested too, also. So we planned it out. Sandra and I will work together and figure out when and what's a good time and in terms of who goes through the building. It's not because the furniture coming in at probably end of July kind of thing. So it's all. I mean, it's an active construction and move and activity site kind of thing. So we want to manage the tours.
Right. And the timeline.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, all set. Moving on to Norwalk High School and P-TECH. Under slab utilities are ongoing, and a portion of the slab on grade was poured recently. Areas are being prepped and continue with the slab on grade. Steel erection began the first week in February, excuse me. The crane was relocated to the second location. There are 7 crane locations, each one taking roughly 3 to 5 weeks for each setup. And then the utility work within the entrance drive took place over the April break, and the team continues to coordinate additional utility work in the driveway for the summer of 2025. We're still on schedule to be open for the fall of 2027, with the project being complete the fall of 2028. And I'll scroll through. Here are some pictures. Here's where we are with the steel erection. View from the ground. This is spray-on fireproofing that protects the steel in case of a fire. This is right after a slab on deck was poured. Some clearing and grubbing occurring over behind houses on Strawberry Avenue. We are right here on the schedule. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor or not. Any questions on Norwalk High School P-TECH?
The only thing I want to add is that Jim mentioned that there's a site utility installation this summer. It's actually a significant work that the project team is going to be working on the driveway, bringing utility up the main driveway. So for this summer, generally speaking, that driveway, not that anybody drive up there because we're not having summer school there, but at the same time is that driveway, generally speaking, will not be open because all the construction excavation that needs to happen this summer. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, moving on to the indoor air quality projects. We're continuing to move forward with Brookside. Contractor is submitting his submittals and getting prepared for the end of the school year. I think he was out there this past Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been active, good contractor, staying on top of his deliverables and preparing for a big push this summer to get his work done. We did, this update was done last week. We did go out to bid. We received bids for the remaining 5 projects on Monday and yesterday. The bids did come in higher than expected, and we're in the process of reviewing those bids in relation to the scope of work and also doing what we call scope reviews with the low bidders. Right now, obviously, Brookside is moving forward. The only project that did come in around budget was Rowayton. The others we do, again, need to review and see where we stand after we have some more in-depth meetings with the trade contractors and the construction manager. I think we have a meeting set up we did have some meetings today, and we do have a meeting set up for tomorrow to review and discuss further. Any questions?
So the expectation is that all 5 of those schools, their installations would be complete this summer, so before the school year starts?
No,
No.
they're gonna span over this summer and next summer. That was always our plan.
Okay, so
we're
it starts June 16th and then goes through.
depending on the school, it depended on what we're gonna be able to get done. Each school's a little bit different in their scope, and their complexity. But we were planning on doing a big push this summer, and also working second shift during the school year. So that way next summer, we can make sure that we will be complete with the work. But again, I just want to make sure everybody understands we have some work to do to understand where we are with the pricing. Like I said, Brookside and Rowayton are obviously Brookside is moving forward. Rowayton looks like it can move forward. We're within budget, but the other 4 projects are over budget, and we again need to review the scope and see what we can do to get it within budget.
So then is it safe to say that we expect that these 5 schools would have it in place beginning the school year of 26?
Brookside and Rowayton, it might be, Rowayton might lag a little bit into the school year of 26.
Okay.
Brookside should be done this summer.
Okay. Right.
This summer, potentially October of this year. The delivery of the equipment is potentially as a two separate shipment. One is in July, one could be end of August. So we're going to do the installation over 1 or 2 weekends. Probably September or October to put that to complete the installation.
Got it. Thank you.
We'll bring you another update on this after we've all met because of the concerns with some of these bids coming in over price.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if you don't mind,
You have another meeting. No worries.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
everybody. It's nice to
Thanks,
see
Jen.
everybody.
You too.
Thanks,
All right.
Jim. Alan is here, though, if you guys had further questions on the HVAC before we move on. It's up to you.
I'm good.
No, yeah, just know that that's something that we're looking at because, and then we'll bring you another update on that. But we do have some other projects that are happening. So, Alan, were you all set with your updates, or
Yes.
can I turn it over to Bill?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you,
All right,
Alan,
thank you.
so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bill, thank you for being patient. We flipped
Well, thank you.
we
I'm
flipped
sorry
the
I don't have-
agenda.
Yes, I'm sorry, I don't have a script.
That's
And
okay.
I will have one next month. But the projects that I'm doing are not as exciting as what Jim and Alan had mentioned. But I'll just give you a quick review in more detail next month. The good thing is I have contracts in place, and it's not even May yet. I know May starts tomorrow. So everybody's ready to go. In fact, some of the trades even want to start a little sooner. So the projects I have are at Cranberry, we're installing the solar panels on the roof. That job should start in July, and it'll be turned over and active in October. But the main construction of that, with all the laying of the solar panels on the roof and whatnot, will take place during the summer. So that's a nice project. We typically wait about a year after the building is built, so the roof is set in and ready for these panels. And the panels are going pretty much from north to east north, south, west, and east, the main footprint of the roof there. We also have panels at CMS, Jefferson, and Narragansett. So this would just be building on that. The next project I have, I'll be working concurrently with Fallon and Jim at Brookside. So while they're installing rooftop units as part of the HVAC grant, I will be removing an underground storage tank that's no longer in use. That shouldn't take too long, but we do want to get a head start in the early part of the summer, and that school is closed. That tank is in close vicinity of where the kids play, so it's best to have the school closed at this time, and that benefit of the HVAC grant turns out well. We also have another underground fuel storage tank being removed at Tracy. That's in front of the school on Camp Avenue below the grass. That will be removed as well. And in addition, we're going to convert that boiler from oil to gas. The gas service has already been brought to the side of the building, and that will be piped in from the foundation to the boilers. And the boiler room will get a revamp, new paint job, new lights and whatnot. So that's also scheduled for this coming summer, starting on pretty much the 16th of June. In addition, and at Tracy, and I know the parents there are going to be very happy, we'll be installing air conditioning to all of the spaces. We've completed that in various areas, various schools. So we're compounding on that. And this will be the next school that takes place. Basically, window units are going in addition to what we call mini split systems in areas in the school where we don't have a window. That's where they're going. So recent projects included Nathan Hale, Jefferson, not Jefferson, Kendall, Rowton, Silvermine, and hopefully next year, if everything turns out right, after we complete Tracy this year, we will going to start at Wolf Pit. So the next project I have going this summer is asbestos abatement at Fox Run. So all of the floor tile will be removed and replaced with new floor tile that is asbestos-containing material. It's in a large portion of the school. It's not in the best of shape. That's why we must do that ahead of the other schools, such as Wolf Pit, whereas also that's a priority. The good thing at Wolf Pit, it's not cracking or friable like it is at Fox Run, so that's the priority. And at Wolf Pit, it can't be done in one season, one summer, because together with the flooring at Wolf Pit, we have to do the ceiling. So I envision if we get the city to, if we put the request in this fall for capital money for asbestos abatement, I expect that project to maybe take 3 summers at Wolf Pit. But for this summer, we will be doing it and coordinating with the teachers and the school leader at Fox Run. We typically have them pack before the school year ends and come in before the school year begins to unpack while we have all the work done and the new floor laid down. The next project we have going is very much talked about again. I know the PTO and the SEG at Rowton are going to be very happy. We're going to be replacing all of the kids' school lockers. Currently, the lockers are tall, but not wide enough. So you can barely fit a book bag in there, a backpack. So they're going to take the same footprint on the height, but they're only going to be wider. So we have that ongoing also, starting in mid-June. And that project, although it sounds a lot like a big project, and there is summer school there this year, believe it or not, it's not going to take as long as you think. The removal might take less than a week, and then they start building and putting in section by section on all three levels. So as I mentioned earlier, these projects are important. In total, gee, it must be $3.5, $4 million. But they're not as exciting as what Alan and Jim had mentioned, but much needed. Next, in May, I will have more graphics and more of a review on what I just talked about.
Thank you, Bill. And I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a Tracy parent who's very excited.
Oh, good.
Exactly.
That one bit of news, so.
Exactly. Depends on who you ask. So
Good. They don't care about the underground storage tank. They just care about the air conditioning.
absolutely.
On the asbestos abatement projects at Fox Run and Wolf Pit, and I know that we've covered this before, but just for the public, just to confirm, there's no safety issues or like health concerns with that, or like nothing's exposed.
So it's a good question. And we have a asbestos management plan that the full plan is updated every 3 years. And every year there are inspections to abide by the deep regulations. This year is actually taking place in the next 2 weeks. We've already notified all the school leaders that we'll be doing a visual inspection based on the last one. So any areas that are affected, they usually hone in on, such as maybe there's some pipe insulation in the basement where no one ever goes. They'll go and look at that. In terms of what the public actually sees and where the real focus is the floor tile. So wherever there's floor tile that comes loose, we have a program in place and we tape it down, and it's all in accordance with the regulation. So right now, I can honestly say that there is no issues that the public need to be aware of because of any excess. And that's why Fox Run is next. In the past, we have done some Thanksgiving weekend abatements in the classroom here and there, because that's an area where it got a little out of hand. Another priority school would be, I think it would be Nathan Hale, and that's also on our ongoing list as well. But currently, we don't have any areas by which we would need to close the classroom or close the school.
Yeah. And when that happens because of something that occurred, we don't wait for the summer. We do it over a weekend or over a break. But no, to answer your question, and thank you for posing that, because people do get concerned about the asbestos tiles. But no, they're not, if they're not cracked or if they're not exposed, then there is no danger. And if that does occur, we do use we do the protocol that we have to, and if the area is large and we need to abate, then we do.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. So those are the projects. It's a quick overview, but we figured, it's April, we'll probably just we don't know what May holds because of graduations and everything, so we'll have to think about all those, and then we'll do a year wrap up and sort of forecasting for the summer work for you. If there's anything that you guys want us to definitely address during our next meeting, please let us know. But essentially, that's the update.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Bill. And if there's nothing else, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Seconded.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Everybody.
everyone.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye-bye.